Sports Podcast. Thank you for that wondrous ovation. It is so good to be back with you, and it is so good to be back behind this microphone. And I just want to say how much I miss the podcast, and I never had any intentions of abandoning it, but it's good to be back behind it for now. I did some things and wanted to take a shot at something I knew I would be good at for years to come if I simply would have had a chance to do it. And so I decided to go back to college, and in the middle of that, I became the voice of all the sporting events at my college, a public address announcer. I've done volleyball, I've done basketball, and I've even done our senior days for baseball and softball as well. So it's a thrill. It really is a thrill to do something that you've wanted to do for a long time. And I just am so thankful to be in this position right now. And I'll be done hopefully soon. And who knows what'll happen next, but I'm just looking forward to next season and being back behind the microphone. My favorite spot on campus is wherever they need me to announce some things. I even announced our field day, and so that was fun. And I'm just honored to be in this position. Like I said, I feel so blessed to be in this position, and I cannot wait to see our volleyball team, our basketball team, men and women's, and our softball team and our baseball team again next season. The best record in baseball at this moment currently belongs to the Cincinnati Reds. And the Cincinnati Reds have been seemingly electrified by their call-up of this young man, Elly De La Cruz. And Elly De La Cruz, the man, he's really fast. He might be the fastest man in baseball. I watched a highlight of Elly De La Cruz. He was at the plate against the Astros. He hit a ground ball to first base. And you'd think that's an easy put out by the first baseman, right? Well, somehow he's fast enough that he beat that infield single out. And that was simply amazing. This guy has speed that's probably never been seen on a baseball diamond, and his play and his hustle is seemingly electrifying the Cincinnati Reds to a first-place mark in the National League Central Division, where they were expected to not compete at all this season. But Elly De La Cruz, he's changing things, and he is one of the most exciting young players to hit the major leagues in quite a while. The NBA Finals are over, and the Denver Nuggets are the champions of the basketball world as they defeat the Miami Heat in 5 games, and they are the champions of the NBA. And Nikola Jokic gets his MVP honors in the finals from an MVP season as well from Jokic, he and Jamal Murray. And it seems like they are primed to lead Denver to greatness. And so the entire Western Conference better watch out because Denver had a run where they beat LeBron and the Lakers. They had a run where even Miami had a run where they took it to 7 games against Boston, and Boston just going cold in the 7th game, especially from the 3-point line. Just did them in. But it was overall an entertaining basketball season, and Denver Nuggets are the winners, and they only took them 50 seasons to finally get a winner in Denver. So thing that struck me was when I saw the crowd for the NBA Finals deciding Game 5. I saw that both Peyton Manning, the former Broncos quarterback, and Russell Wilson, current Denver Broncos quarterback, were both in the crowd for that game. And I'm sure there were other Denver legends that were in the crowd as well. So that's the thing that I will choose to end on, because obviously Russell Wilson did not have a good first year in Denver. Maybe things will improve for Russell Wilson in Denver now that Sean Payton is on board and he's going to be coaching the Broncos. Maybe an experienced head coach will make all the difference for Denver next season. We'll see. As promised, it's time for my All-Star Game ballot and who I have selected to go to Seattle to play in this year's All-Star Game. So we'll start first with the American League, and who I've picked pretty much for the American League. I was going by, and this is pretty much how I vote for my All-Star Game ballots, are who's generally hitting well, who's generally the best hitter, most homers, highest batting average, things like that are generally the way I try to vote in these All-Star games. Anyway, for the American League, first base, I got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Second base, I got Marcus Semien from the Texas Rangers. Third base, I got Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox. Shortstop, I got Corey Seager. Outfield, I got Aaron Judge from the Yankees. I got Adolis Garcia from Texas. And I got Randy Arozarena from Tampa Bay for the outfield. Catcher, I got Salvador Perez in what is probably going to be his final season behind the plate in Kansas City. And for designated hitter, it is Miguel Cabrera's final season. A man who has seemingly done it all. He's won a World Series his rookie year. 3,000 hits. He won a Triple Crown. It's unbelievable all the things Miguel Cabrera has done. Led the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs at one point in his career for a season. Just incredible. And now, the National League. At first base, I got Matt Olson. Matt Olson's hit a lot of homers. He's been very productive for Atlanta this year. Second base, how can he not be in your National League starting lineup? When he's hitting 400 so far this season, Luis Arias at second base. Third base, I got Max Muncy from the Dodgers. So, Mad Max, I got him going at third base. Shortstop, I'll admit this was a homer pick, Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson for the Cubs. And I got him going at shortstop. And so, in the outfield, I got Mookie Betts for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts is going to the All-Star game. For the outfield, I got his fellow National League West outfielder Corbin Carroll from Arizona going in there as well. And the last outfield spot, I've given that to Ronald Acuna Jr. And so, Carroll, Acuna, and Mookie Betts for the outfield. Catcher, yeah, this is another homer pick, I'll admit. Yan Gomes, the Cubs catcher, simply because I think Yan Gomes is really underrated. I think the way he commands the Cubs pitching staff should be recognized in some way. So I think Yan Gomes deserves a trip. He may not get to go, and same with Swanson, but I think these two are the most deserving candidates on the north side of Chicago to get in. And the designated hitter for the National League, which those words are still very hard to say, designated hitter for the National League, I chose J.D. Martinez for the Dodgers. So that is my All-Star Game selections for the All-Star Game. And then you can still vote until Thursday. So there's still time to get your picks in if you haven't done it yet. But it should be a very exciting All-Star Game coming up in Seattle. And the All-Star Game in sports, Major League Baseball, was the first one to do it. Babe Ruth hit the first home run in the first All-Star Game, because of course he did. And so, anyway, that's who I got.